Okay, today we will see another loop, that is for loop. We still have some idea about for off loop. We know how to run the for off loop. We saw it in the last few classes. Then I will say now in loops 2 section of the Grasshopper application, you will get it for loop. That is very actually common in other programming languages also. Now we will learn it. I will explain it on here computer. First of all, I want to show you how it works. Mm. See, here we have a target. We will count or we will print. Count means that it will show 0 to 9. It will show or it will print number 0 to 9. How can we do this? So what will be our target? Our target is whenever we will run our program in our on our output screen, it will print like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How can we do this? For this, we have to run a loop that is called for loop. So last class we learned for off loop, but this is different. This is for loop. So what we can do now, here it has some structure inside. I will explain it. Inside the for loop, we did something. We are doing something like variable I is equal 0, I less than 10, I is equal I plus 1. Then inside the bracket, we are printing I. So I am just giving a basic idea. So here we will create a variable for the loop. This variable will help us to run our loop.
So
There
why
will
are
be a
there so many
condition.
I
Sorry,
inside for loop? Why are there so many I's?
there's so many. I will explain it. Okay, just think about it. There will be some initial condition. There will be some final condition. If this condition is false, then we will stop the loop. Then I is equal I plus 1. Okay, I will explain everything. Now see, if I run this one, what will be the output? The output will be like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I run it again, see, it's just printing 0 to 9. Now let's see how it's working. Okay. Now I'll go to my computer, explain it there. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
yes, do you have an issue? Okay. This is our for loop. Like here, this is our loop in the, just don't think about the first print statement. This is simple print statement. Just inside the print, they wrote something. The loop will go as long as I is less than 10. So there is a condition for I variable. This is our main loop. I is equal 0. Let me take my annote sign. Where is this sign? Where is this one? So now let's see how it's working. Okay, in JavaScript means I told you this Grasshopper application, this uses JavaScript language. A classic for loop repeats the, what does for loop? You know, loop repeats something, repeats some specific blocks, repeats the same code inside the block a specified number of times. That means inside the block means this is our for loop, okay, and this is for loops block. This starts here with this bracket and this stops here or ends here. So inside the block we wrote something print I. It will print the value of I and it will repeat it a specified number of times. So there are three parts in the loop. The first part is the first part happens before the loop starts and defines a looping variable I is equal 0. That there will be second part that tests that if the loop should keep repeating, and the third part looping variable each time the loop repeats. Okay, what does it means?
So initially inside the loop, always you have to declare the initial part of the loop. There will be a condition and there will be updating the loop. Just you will follow these things, these three condition for each for loop. There will be some initial condition where our loop will start. There will be some end condition. Whenever this condition is false, we will stop our loop. Then we will run our loop or update our loop. See how it's working. I am demonstrating it here. Okay, I'm writing it here now, right now. See, so always you have to declare a variable inside the loop, or you can declare it actually before. Just take it here. Variable I is equal to 0. So remember it, our loop will always start at a specific point. Then we should also give some condition so that we can end our loop. So we then stop our loop. So our loop will have some starting point. Our loop will have some starting point, a starting point, and there will be some condition that is called ending condition. And or I'm just writing end condition, and condition. So there will be a starting point, there will be an condition, and there will be a, okay, if you want to ask something, unmute yourself, you can ask me. If I share my screen and write something, I cannot read the chat box. There will be some starting point, there will be some end condition, and we have to update the loop or update the loop variable. Just update the loop, take it in this way. Update the loop, update the loop. This is three condition always you have to follow in a loop. So here in our loop, a starting condition is this: variable I is equal to 0, and ending condition is this: I less than 10. That means we will run our loop until our I is less than 10. Update the loop means this one: I is equal I plus 1. Each time whenever we will go to the next step, we will increase the value of I by 1. So you will understand it if I explain it here. So this is our starting condition, this is the end condition, this is I is equal I plus 1. That's how we will update our loop variable. See what's happened here. So inside our loop, always you have to follow the syntax. Write a for loop. You don't need to worry about it. Whenever you will write it, they will automatically give it. For loop, then you have to give three conditions. First of all, declare a variable, give it some initial point, initial value. Here we have given I is equal 0. Then they give a condition. By following this condition, we will end our loop. Okay. So when our loop starts, the value of I is 0 because it has just started. Then it will check the condition. Why?
Sir, why cannot it be one? I equal
Yes,
to
I will.
one.
I will show you. I will show you. You can put anything. Listen, you here I is equal 0, I less than 10, I is equal I plus 1. This is not something specific. This is not something fixed. We will define it. We will arrange it according to our problem statement. Here our target is we will print 0 to 9. That's why we have arranged it in this way. We will see different programs there. We will see that we can give different conditions because this is simple, logical. We will arrange our condition according to our problem statement. Here our target is we will print 0 to 9. That's why our loop will look like this. Okay, we have started a, whenever we have started I is equal 0, then we will check the condition. Each time we will check the condition. If the condition is false, we will stop our loop. Now it will check the condition. I less than 10. I is now 0. So it will check, is 0 less than 10? Is 0 less than 10? Yes, the condition is true. 0 is less than 10. When the condition is true, then it will enter into this loop. This loop, for loop, starts here with this bracket, second bracket or braces, and ends here. And inside the loop, whatever is written, we will do this. Here it's printing I. Okay. I is 0
Can-
and the condition is true, I less than 10. So it will enter into the loop. Now it will come to this line and it will print I. So I am writing my output here. So
Sir,
G,
sir,
what
then
happened?
what is this doing? I plus one, I equal to I plus one. What will this do?
Okay, I will come to here later. So what it will do in the output, we will see what it will print. Print I. Now the value of I is now 0. You know it. I is now 0. So it will print in the output 0. So we have got 0 in the output script. Fine. So our loop is not done yet. It's not end yet. What it will do after printing this I, it will again go to the loop and it will go to this position now. I is equal I plus 1. It's in two lines. That's why it looks different. But it will go to this position now. This is the structure of the loop. This is this will do this now. After doing something, it will go to this position of the loop. Here it's showing that I is equal I plus 1. That means it will increase the value of I by 1. So now current value of I will be 0 plus 1. That means now our I value is 1. Now our I value is 1. So it will increase the value of I. Now our I is 1. Then it will check the condition again. See how it's working. Then it will check the condition again. I less than 10. I is now 1 because we have updated this. Then it will again check, is I less than 10. This is our test condition. If this condition is false, we will stop our loop. I is now 1. So it will again check that is I less than 10. That means is 1 less than 10. Yes, we know that 1 is less than 10. The condition is true. When the condition is true, again it will enter into the body of the loop. That means again it will come to this line inside the loop. So what it will do? It will print the value of I. Now the value of I is 1. So now it will print in the output screen, it will print 1. See, whenever I run the loop, you saw that output was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But how it did the thing, how it printed 0 to 9, I am explaining this. This is the deep explanation in the loop. What's happening actually inside your computer? What's happening inside your loop? So I hope you got that's how it's printed 0 and 1. Then the same process will repeat again and again. After printing this thing, again it will go to this position of the loop, inside the loop. I is equal I plus 1. That means it will increase the value of I by 1. So our last I value was 1. Then it will be 2 because it will increase by 1. Again it will check the condition. Come here, I less than 10. I is now 2. Now it will check, is 2 less than 10? Yes, it's still now the condition is true. So again it will come into the loop. It will print I value. Now I value is 2. So in the output you will see 2 now. So again it will go to the loop. It's not done yet. I is equal I plus 1. It will increase the value of I by 1. I was 2 in the last step. Now I will be 3. The same thing. Again it will check the condition. I less than 10. That means is 3 less than 10? If 3 is less than 10, the condition is true. So it will enter into the loop, into the body of the loop. So it will print I value again. Now the I value is 3. So it will print 3. So we can see that up to this position, it is printed 0, 1, 2, 3. Then it will continue the same process again and again. Then again it will go to the loop. I will be 4. The same thing it will do, it will print 4. And goes on, goes on, goes on. Finally, I will be 9. So it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it will check the condition. So I is now 9. It will check the condition is I less than 10, that means is 9 less than 10. Yes, 9 is less than 10, so it will enter into the loop, it will print I. So it had printed 9. So our loop is not done yet. It will again go to the loop I is equal I plus 1. After 9, I will be 10. Now it will check the condition again. Is I less than 10? I is now 10. It will check is 10 less than 10. Finally, it will check is 10 less than 10? No, 10 is not less than 10. 10 is equal to 10. So our condition is false. Then it will not come here again. It will not come here again. It will go out of the loop. It will finish our program. So ultimately what it did, it printed 0 to 9. So you see that finally after increasing the value of I value again and again, I is equal I plus 1, finally we will get 10. Whenever this is 10, our condition is false and we will not enter into the body of the loop. We will stop our loop at that time. We will go out of the loop and in this time it will enter stop our program now. So what we did, we printed 0 to 9 in this way. We have run a loop. In this way, we have started from 0, I less than 10. Now I hope you can relate why it's printing 0 to 9 and why the condition is like this. That's why we have started our loop at I is equal 0 and I less than 10 so that we can print up to 9 and we will increase the value one by one.
Sir, do we need to write it twice? Like if now for I equal to I plus 1 and then I equal to 9, do we need to write it twice
Where
for
I,
this and this?
which, sorry, I did not get your question clearly.
Um, for example, when I equals to 0, it will print I equals to 0. So we wrote it here down. And then when I equals to 0, and then when we add this I equals to I plus 1, we again wrote it down. So do we need to write this
No,
two
no, no.
times for every other
Okay. Now tell
digit?
me, what was our output? Ultimately, you will see this output
Yes.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, what I have explained it here, what is this? Can you see this portion? Did
Yes,
you see
sir.
this? Did you see this on the output?
No.
No. This is the mechanism, that's how a loop works. Why I have explained it to you actually how you are getting this output. That's it.
Oh,
This is the, you will not see it. It will happen in the deep of the computer or in the deep of your loop. That's how your loop works and that's how you get the output. So we as a human being only can see the output 0 to 9. We cannot see this, but in
hmm.
deep your loop will work in this way. But you have to understand this mechanism, how your loop works. Otherwise you will not be able to understand it, the loop. So you will not see this. You
Oh,
don't
I
need
thought
to
we
do
need to
this.
memorize it.
You don't need to do this. What you will do, you will run the loop, you will write a loop for getting this output. But in deep, it works in this way. I have explained it so that it becomes easier for you how this loop
And
works.
do we need to memorize this one, this
Do we
sentence?
need, no, no, this is nothing special. If you write your name here, it will also print this. So inside the
Oh,
print, whatever you write, it will be shown on the output. So this is nothing
the
special.
question, whatever the question wants, we will write it
Yes,
in print.
yes, whatever the
Okay.
question wants. So all of you understanding loop in the first class is totally impossible. I am not expecting this from you. What you will do, I will declare very two more simple programs very related to this. Then at home, try to explain it, try to understand it, try to analyze it by yourself again and again. Hope you will get a good idea what is loop, especially what is for loop. We are discussing about for loop. So this is nothing special, this portion. I have explained
Sir,
this one, how it's
so
working.
you have explained 1 to I plus 1. I think like the I is our update or current value, and it one will work with that, and in case the value give update or new value of I. like this.
Sorry.
You explain I plus one. So I think like I is our uh, new value when it function will work, like, and it will give one new I value. So in new I value, one will be added and give another new I value. I think like this.
Okay, I hope you are not clear. You don't have clear idea about what is variable or anything. The thing is that here I is not a new value or nothing special. Here we have declared the value of I, here I is equal 0. Then we are each time the same I, we are just changing its value. We are just changing. I is the same I. I is not new. We are just changing the value of I. Why? Okay, just think about this. Always in the all of the loop in all programming language, we'll have this concept. Always we will start it at a point, we will end it, and we will update it. So for doing this, we need a variable. By using a variable, we can run a loop. So that's what we are doing here. Our variable is I. You can declare it anything, x, y, z, like a variable, but I is very common practice. So we will start it at a point according to our problem statement. Our problem statement is we will print 0 to 9. So that's how we think that we should start it from 0, I is equal 0. And our condition is when we will stop our loop. Condition means when we will stop our loop, when I is less than 10. Then we should do something so that we can go from this step to this step, this step to this step. So for going from one step to another step, that is we have to update the value of I. That is actually I is equal I plus 1. Just for going one step to another step. That is I plus 1. And the other things I showed you, our target is we will just only print the value of I. That's what we are doing. Inside the bracket, we are writing print I. And each time we are going there, we are checking the condition in this way. Whenever the condition is false, like this 10 less than 10, we will stop our loop. Then finally our loop will be done. We will go out of the loop. Now I'm telling you, analyze the things and watch the video again and again. If you analyze this in this way that I have you can see on the screen, you will get a very clear idea at home whenever you do it by yourself what's happening here. Okay, I will explain now another program. I hope it will
Sir,
be clear to
question.
you. Yes.
So if the variable I equals to, suppose it is given 21, and then we will start from 21, right?
Yes, that's it. I will explain the very good. I will explain these types of thing now. Then I hope it will be a bit clear to you. For example, okay, it's okay. Write a program to print 10 to 20. Write a program to print 10 to 20. So what we are doing here, I hope you can see the screen. See, we have, so our target is now in our last program, we printed 0 to 9, but here our target is we will print 10 to 20. So what we will do, we will, I hope you can see the screen now. The same loop for loop inside the bracket, we will write some syntax. We will write a starting point, ending point, ending condition, updating variable. Then inside the print type. So what we will do inside the for loop, we will just print the value of I. So print I. The main thing is how will you arrange your loop? How will you structure your loop? Where you will start it, where you will end it. Our target is now we will print the value from 10 to 20. So what we did here, we wrote that for variable I is equal 10. I hope now it makes a bit sense why I is equal 10. So here we have started our loop when I is 10. For variable I is 10, semicolon, what will be our ending condition? I less than or equal to 20. This is my condition now. I is equal to, this is update variable I plus 1. That means what we will do, first of all, we will print 10. Our target is then 11, then 12, then 13, then 14, and goes on like 19, 20. So what we will do, we will start our loop at 10, we will go up to 20. We will start our loop at 10, we will go up to 20. That's why for variable I is equal 10, I less than or equal 20. So after 10, we are printing 11, 12, 13, 14. Just one step by another step. That means after 10, we are printing one next number, one step by another step. That's how we are increasing the value of I by 1. I is equal I plus 1. So that's why up first 10, then 11, 12, 13, 14, up to 20. The next of the things will do the same job that I explained in our previous program.
Sir, why do we take I equal to I plus 1? Why not I plus 2?
Why not I plus? What will happen if I so here we are, what we are doing after 10? Good question. We are printing 11, 12, 13, one step by another step. After 10, I am just increasing. I have to print the next number, next number, next number. That's why I is equal I plus 1. If I ask you a program like this, print your output should look like this: 10, then the next number is 12, then 14,
Odd or even multiple?
is something like that, 16. So what it's doing, the same for loop for variable I will start at 10, isn't it? I is equal 10, and the ending condition is also same. It will end at 20. And what will be the value of updating value? Here we are doing I is equal I plus 1, because we are printing 10, 11, 12, 13, one
Yeah,
program next on the program. But here I have given
yeah,
only the output. I
yeah.
told
That's why I'm
Yeah, I
asking.
equal I plus 2.
I,
yes, I is equal I
yeah,
plus 2.
I plus
So
two.
you have to change your value according to your problem statement. So this is nothing special, but we know that this position will update the I value. How it will update the I value? According to your problem statement, what it wants. It wants that after 10, print 12, then 14, then 16. That's why I is equal I plus 2. The inside the body is same, just print I. This is the same. So I hope now you got the idea what is the initial condition of a loop, what should be the ending condition, and how it will change your value or update your value. Okay, that's
Sir, inside the sir,
just
sir, inside the ending point, can we write I is less than 21?
yes, that is very good question. Inside like this for this one, here we are printing 10 to 20, and what is our condition? I less than or equal 20. So this is also valid. That means the
We
loop will
can't
run.
write 21
Yeah,
because
it
in
is
the
all
question it is said that up to 20
up
and
to
it
20.
has to be equal to 20, not 21.
No, it will work. Listen, what will be our main target? Our main target is we will run our loop up to I value is 20. So here if we write I less than or equal 20, this is totally perfect, because less than or equal, we will go up to 20. If you write I less than 21, this is also perfect. What does it mean ultimately? Ultimately, I less than 21 means the loop will run up to I is 20. The loop will run until I is 20. That means this is very simple. That means I less than 21. So I less than 21 means ultimately I will run until I is 20. Or you can write I less than or equal 20. It is more clear. But if you write I less than 21, this is totally perfect and very good practice. You can do this. So whatever I want to say that these are not fixed. You will arrange this thing by your problem statement, by your own logical statement. What do you think perfect? Like someone told me that if I write I less than 21, that is totally perfect and very fine logic. You can do it. Ultimately, your target is you will print 10 to 20. Now think about it. How can you print it? But that is very good question. Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay, if I discuss another one, like, okay, here we learned something new, like I is equal I plus 1 means it will increase or update the value 1 by 1. If you write I is equal I plus 2, it will update the value 2 by 2. That's what according to our demand of the problem statement, we will arrange it. Like if it asks something like this, If I ask you a question, write a program to print 10 to 1. It's in reverse order. 10 to 1. So what we will do? We will print 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 in the reverse order now. Then what should you do? You will
Sorry.
arrange your loop in this way. So when you will start our loop will start when I is 10. Our variable I is 10. And what will be our condition? If I write it, you will understand it. I greater than 0. Then what will
I
be?
is greater than 10.
I is equal I minus 1. This is our updating condition now. I hope all of you will understand it now. Then inside print I. See, our target is we will print first 10, then 9, then 8, then 7, then 6, then up to 1. So what we will do, we will start our loop at 10 and we will decrease the value one by one. We have to decrease. In our last programs, we had to increase our value. Now we have to decrease our value. For this, actually, there is a instead of writing I is equal I plus 1, you can write I is equal I minus 1. So it will decrease the value one by one. But what it's doing, it will start at 10, I is equal 10. Then what is our condition? Until I greater than 0, then it will print I. Now this is our condition. I will explain a bit to you. What will it will happen? You will understand it, I hope. Like whenever this program will start, initially the value of I is 10. I is now 10. So it will check the condition. Is I greater than 0? That means I is now 10. It will check, is 10 greater than 0? Yes, 10 is greater than 0. So it will enter into the loop. It will print the value of I. So what it will do? First, it will print 10. Then it will go to this position of the loop again. Loop is not done yet. I is equal I minus 1. That means it will decrease the value of I by 1. I was 10. Now I will be 9. This time it will decrease the value according to our problem step.
So why are you writing here, not in the output section? 9.
What do you mean by output section?
If we decrease it by 1, don't we need to write here
When it will go there?
the
Listen,
out.
what I am explaining here, try to understand, all of you. This is, you cannot see this portion. This is the mechanism of the loop, how you loop works. Whenever you run a machine, for example, you just see the output, but inside the machine there's some principle. By following this, it's working. So actually I am trying to explain this to you. All of you are getting mess of this. This is actually nothing special, not nothing totally special. This is actually the thing that's happening inside our loop. Whenever you run our loop, we can just see the output here, 10, 9, 8, 7. But how this loop is giving you the output in this way? So I am explaining the deep things that we cannot see or anything like this. uh, just don't mess it with the something. It is the mechanism actually how your loop will work. So whenever I will be 9, it will check the condition, is I greater than 0, is 9 greater than 0. When the condition is true, it will enter into the loop and it will print I. Whenever it will print something, then you can see it on the output 9. So our loop is not done yet. Again it will go to the loop. Again I is equal I plus I minus 1. It will decrease the value of I. So I was 9. In deep, I will be now 8. It will again check the condition, I greater than 0. I is now 8. It will check, is 8 greater than 0? Yes, the condition is true. So it will enter into the loop. It will print 8 now. That's how it's printing 10, 9, 8. Again it will go to the loop, I is equal I minus 1. So in the loop, what it will do, it will decrease the value of I. I was 8. Now I will be 7. So it will again check the condition, is 7 greater than 0? Yes, 7 is greater than 0. So it will enter into the loop. Again, it will print I. Now it will print 7. In the same way, it will continuously decrease. I will be finally 1. It will check the condition. Is I greater than 0? Is 1 greater than 0? Yes, 1 is greater than 0. So what it will do? It will print 1 again. Again, it will go to the loop. I is equal I minus 1. I was 1. After decreasing it by 1, I will be finally 0. It will check the condition, is I greater than 0? That means I is now 0. So it will check, is 0 greater than 0? So we know that 0 is not greater than 0. 0 is equal to 0. So the condition is false. Then it will not come here. It will not print I. It will go out of the loop. It will end of your program. But what it did, it has printed 10 to 1. And this is your output. Actually, you will see this. For getting this output, we have written this loop. Like here, our target is we will start our loop 10. We will go up to 1. So we have to decrease the value now. In the last program, we increased the value. I is equal I plus 1. But here, we have to decrease it. I is equal to I minus 1. This is nothing special. According to our problem statement, we should decrease it, increase it. And that's what it's doing. And our first number is 10. That's why we will start it from 10 and we'll continuously decrease it. And what it does, it I equal 10, I 9. Actually, it happens. By doing these things, our loop will get the output. Like you have to understand these things. Otherwise, you will not understand how you are getting this output actually. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask me. This is the same
Sir,
thing.
can we take I equal more than 10, like 11, 12?
Element what more than what 20, 12.
Yeah, I equal 11, 12.
Okay, you can. If I
It's
ask,
more than 0.
it's more than 0. Why I have written this condition I greater than 0? Because I want to print 10 to 1, and instead of I greater than 0 here, if you write I greater than or equal 1, this condition will also work perfectly. Instead of I greater than 0, if you write I greater than or equal to 1, this will also perfectly. Listen, in the last program we used I less than 10, I less than 20. But here why I greater than 0? Because this is nothing special. This is according to our problem statement. What you will do, you will print 10 to 1. That's why we will start our loop 10, and that's how we have arranged our so we have started our loop at 10 and continuously we will decrease it by 1, I is equal I minus 1. So whenever you decrease some value 10, 9, it will go 8, 7, 5, 4, 6, 3, 2, 1. So we should have a condition when you will stop. It will continuously decrease, but whenever it will be 0, we will stop it. That's why we have given the condition I greater than 0 and then we have printed it. I am not expecting that you will understand loop in the class instantly. So all of you at home, watch the video lecture again and again. Try to analyze the programs, take pen and paper and write these rough things. That's how your loop is actually working. Then you will easily understand how you are getting this output, what's happening. Just watch this video lecture again and again. Hope it will clear your idea. Okay, loop is it's a bit complex term in programming. If you understand loop, actually you will be done with 20-30% of the programming. So it is a big term in programming, so it will take some time to understand it, but hope I have discussed very simple things. If you understand it, how it's happening, why it's printing 1 to 20 or why 10 to 1, if you try to explain it, analyze it, hope you will be able to understand it clearly. No worries. Some at a first glance it looks really complex, but it is not that complex. Okay, do you have any other question about this program?
No, sir.